Welcome to JK Games, the gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
Whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge.
This is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge. Is there any letters in my mouth?
Yes.
You know what it spells?
What?
Lasagna. That's all you gotta know.
Speaking of lasagna, me and Jerica were just talking about, this is a really good leading intro question. What's your biggest ick? Would love to know, everyone. Please comment in the stream.
We were talking about wet food.
Yeah, Jerica has been having some plumbing issues, which is the worst.
It's been a journey. I've been having to like the olden days, like Kayla said, like hand wash all my dishes, and it's been horrible. It takes so long. And I'm like, who's got time to, everyone's like, you don't need a dishwasher, just wash your dishes. And I'm like, it takes so long to do that. I could just do a quick clean, load them up in the washer, and then do something else for like an hour and a half, you know?
Yeah. This is the riveting things we know you came to listen to us talk about, but it's a real problem. I hate like when you have the wet food bits on your dishes.
I hate touching them. You know, I just always like, I have I guess what I try to do when I'm just cleaning off the dishes. See, I'm not going to throw her under the bus on here. She does a lot in my life that I love her to death. But sometimes, and it's not because she works from home. So Audrey's got to eat quickly and put the dishes back in, you know. Quickly puts them in the sink so she can get back to work. I get it. I don't mind. I don't mind doing the dishes when the dishwasher's working. But there's always little residue. There's always stuff in her plate. She likes to leave little treats in her plates. And I do it too sometimes. I'm not throwing her under the bus. She's probably hearing, like, why is Jerica talking to me or talking about me upstairs? But I will say there's more food in her dishes than mine, you know? So occasionally I have to clean them out. And I'm like angling the bowls and the cups, like got the little stream, just getting them out of there because I can't touch it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to. It makes me nauseous just touching it. Like I will start gagging, and I have a horrible gag reflex, anyways. Like, have we talked about this before?
Wow, I don't think we have.
I gag most of the time when I brush my teeth.
Like it's very that's a problem.
Like even that's like it's not dirty food. It's like minty, fresh taste, and I just gag. Bah.
You know what? I feel like I personally can't relate to that, but I know that there's people out there that can. So I feel for you in that. That's not fun. But if if I even hear, even on TV, if I hear somebody like throwing up, I need to throw up like immediately. Like, are you like that?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, one time, you know, I'll say, you know, and depends on the environment, but if there's a public restroom that's stinky enough, I've been known to gag outside of it. And like, and I'm about to reveal something. There's some true Jerica lore that I'm about to drop on this show.
Jerica lore
right now.
Yes.
There's something I've done since being a little kid. And it all stemmed from this like episode. Like I used to watch The Muppets. You know, we're fan. You know, it was cool seeing Gonzo at the Game Awards. Like I'm pretty familiar with them. I watched a lot of Muppets growing up. Even the Muppet Babies, the little cartoon. All right,
I love that.
Muppets. I
love
cool,
those.
Right, they're cool. But I just remember like one episode they like sing. What is the song? Bermuda, Bahama, come. I can't sing it. I don't want to get, I don't get any strikes.
Yeah.
Because I sing it so well and it's so similar. But that song, there was like an episode of the Muppets. For some reason, it just caused me to relax. Like ever since I've been little, that song from watching them from that episode just chills me out so fast. If I'm ever feeling anxious or if I'm about to throw up, I still sing that in my head to stop myself from throwing up.
Wow.
And it still works to this day. Like if I feel like I'm about to throw up.
Jerica lore.
Yeah. If you ever see me like, that's what I'm sort of like humming. I'm like trying not to throw up.
Next time you get like stressed, I'm just gonna play that. Like
It
I'm gonna be
chills
like a
me out. I
boombox.
don't know what it is. It cures a lot of my anxiety. So
That's so funny. Oh, the penguin gave out some sub gifts. Thanks for joining. Wow. So nice. I guess you really liked Jerica's throw up story. That's so nice.
thought you were gonna come here for video game award news, but instead you're learning about me not throwing up.
Well, that's just part of the packaged gift that you get when you join JK Games, which by the way, we're literally 1 follower away from 200 followers. And we're not here to talk about numbers, but I just think that's really cool.
That is
Do you want to
neat.
be the 200th follower? Tell your friends. I think we're pretty cool. I did introduce myself. My name is Kayla. If you're new, Jerica pukes a lot, right, Jerica?
Not anymore. Not,
No.
she can control it if she sings that song in her head. So
Yep. Bermuda.
instantly relaxed.
Tegan Not Sarah said, Lurk, can't wait to hear about your travels and take on the show.
We could talk
You're
about that sooner rather than later, Kayla, if you are cool with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, just to give you guys a little loadout. Doop doop. Doop doop.
Now,
Today's gonna look like, yes, Jerica.
I did realize, like, obviously, if anyone's watching the show, which you are if you're here, because there's no way to listen to it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Or maybe you got to play in the background, not watching the video, which is fine. But regardless, you are probably usually I do better at having us centered and angled correctly. I'm just saying, I got you off to, you're doing nothing wrong, Kayla. It's just how I got you centered. So it is nothing you're doing. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to say sorry that Kayla's a little off center and maybe a little shorter than me. I tried to make our heads the same size.
Yeah. It was funny because Jerica was saying when we first got on that, because she uses a camera and so she had to zoom in. And so she was like super zoomed in and I was like way far away.
Yeah, my head
also
was as
move
big
a
as
lot.
my body. No,
Wow.
you keep moving. You're fine.
Tegan Not Sarah said, audio only mode. You guys sound great. Oh, thank you.
Great.
Very
Well,
nice.
Cool. We don't have to worry about what we look like the rest of the show.
But so be sure to go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Twitter, JK Games Podcast on all socials, including TikTok, which we use on occasion. And also, if you're listening to this after the fact, Twitch as well, so you can join us live, engage with us, like Tegan Not Sarah in the chat. And we also do a question of the week, which we'll talk about later, or near our main topic, where we go through the announcements, which is kind of what we're mainly here to do. And our very own Jerica, I'm going to interview her. Not really, I don't have anything prepared. She's just going to talk about it. But she was actually there. If you missed us last week talking about it before she went, she got to go this year, which is very exciting.
Yes,
so we're going to talk about that today.
It was a good time.
You were trying to go last year, but there were some events that kept you from going last year.
COVID, but it didn't get me this time, and I'm surprised I didn't catch anything while I was there. There were so many people,
which is great.
It was so crowded.
But yeah, that's what today's going to look like. Our easy mode, we're just going to talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing, including the Game Awards for Jerica. And we have one bit of news, which is very unfortunate. We have some Last of Us things to talk about, but not in a fun way. Unfortunately, it's sad.
I'm excited though.
Oh,
I have a unique opinion, I think. Well, it's not like super unique, but I'm also excited about it.
Interesting.
It's sad, but hopeful.
Okay.
I'll spill my tea later.
And then tea, like the little Kermit, speaking of Muppets.
Yeah. Muppets are great.
So our expert mode, we're going to talk about Game Awards. So we'll talk all about that later. But Jerica, did you want to get us started by either talking about what you've been playing, or do you want to go ahead and start talking about the Game Awards? Either way, you can do either one.
I'll start with what I've been playing, and then I'll just go into the Game Awards. Because what I've been playing won't take long, because I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and play like too much of what I really want to do is just sit and play video games. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And eventually I'm going to get to more of that. But I did decide after, once again, just, meeting everybody and seeing the hype around the Game Awards. And I know like Cyberpunk won Best Ongoing Game. And I
Very
was like,
interesting.
okay, is it an ongoing game? I guess technically speaking, in this instance, yes. But I'm like, God, if the DLC Phantom Liberty was that great, like I need to take a look at it. And then also like when the DLC dropped earlier this year, like everyone was playing it and giving it like
Mm-hmm.
great reviews, saying how much it added to the story and how much it was like, oh, this should have been what Cyberpunk was from the beginning. Because since then, there's been tons of updates to the game, and funny enough, like I have tried to start this game like 5 times. Like I've played through the
Yeah.
opening sequence. Like, sorry, I'm dropping the things that I'm just like fidgeting with. I dropped this. I started that game like 5 times, and then I finally decided on my way back, like I'm gonna sit down and play Cyberpunk. I just beat Alan Wake before I went out to the Game Awards, and I just want another sort of single player story rich experience, and so I'm landing on Cyberpunk. So I am now officially beyond the place I've started 5 times in Cyberpunk. I actually got to the place where I could start the DLC in the game. But I found like I think I went on Reddit and just saw like, hey, what's the best missions to do like in sequence? So
Yeah.
it makes the story a little bit more it flow better, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only word I can think of right now. Anyways, so I'm just going through this list of recommendations for mission beats and
Yeah.
going through it. And I'm having, like, okay, I could definitely tell there's been a huge technical improvement in the game. It's not as glitchy as it was the first time I tried to play, first or second or third. The game looks beautiful. The lighting, HDR looks awesome. Performance is great. Not having any issues there. It's just something about the way the gunplay feels is like, I don't know. I had my first boss fight and it was not fun. It was the worst part of the game so far for me. It just was like, because you can dodge in the game, but it's like, I don't know if I need to just there's so many things I could level up and so many circuit boards I could put in my hands, my eyeballs, my feet. There's a lot of, this game's deep in terms of like customizing and in sense of an RPG. Like it's a deep customization, upgrading stats. It goes, if I could say that one more time, it goes very deep.
Yeah.
So I just might be, not a cyber geek enough. I might not be enough of a cyber geek to know what to level up. I'm just sort of like going with, oh, this sounds cool. But anyways, my dodge is really bad. And I was just like doing, and just like getting hit by the boss and just like, I died. So like like I feel like that should be more. There's some slides I could do at some point, and I've watched some videos of people playing, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of that.
So probably something it takes getting used to, I would assume.
Maybe, yeah, that and just like looking up different ways, like different play styles. I just need to do some research into different play styles, maybe to have more fun with it. Maybe it's not all about gunplay. Maybe I should be hacking more.
Gunplay is very important to me, though, honestly. Like that's why I struggle with Starfield. The gunplay for me on Starfield wasn't the best. So if it doesn't have that, sometimes I struggle with like staying interested.
Yeah.
Because the shooter, is it third person or first person?
First person, and it's just, I wish it was third person so I could see my character more. But I don't know how if I'd like that play style more. I was thinking about Mass Effect when I think of third person RPGs, and like that was, the shooting in those games were fine. So maybe could have tweaked. I don't know. Yeah. It's not the best first person shooter I've ever played. It's not. But the story is starting to get a little bit more interesting, and I don't like driving around the city because I feel like I get arrested or the cops are coming after me because I can't
like GTA style?
Yeah, to that. Yeah, very similar, but it's like I just don't want to get caught up in any of the drama in the world yet. Like I just rather not be bothered by it, so I fast travel everywhere. For me personally. So I'm just going through the story. I did do this one side mission the other night, and I had such a good time with it. I'm not finished with it, but basically there's like these AI cars that you pick up a mission for, like the main computer in this multiple mind machine learning car company is like, help me find my lost cars. And it's basically like this AI's children, the cars, all have personalities, and you
This
just
sounds wild.
you find each car that I've found to like bring back to the company have had like very specific traits and personalities. Like the last one I picked up, the voice sounded just like GLaDOS from Portal, and it was basically talking to me like it was about to set up a puzzle and it tried to kill me. Which is
wow.
So there was definitely someone that was a big fan of Portal.
This is
Project
crazy.
Red. That was cute. That was cool. And it was a good time. So far, I won't, I'll stop talking about Cyberpunk, but I know I see Game Over Cholo said, I finished Cyberpunk in 2020 and I liked it, but a mission with Best Girl Judy glitched and I have refunded the game. Haven't played since. Hey, I get it. I get it. Also,
Yeah.
I've met Judy. I do love Judy. I'm trying to text her, trying to get her to hang out, but nothing's happened yet.
Ooh.
She's a very interesting character.
Trying to get her deets.
Yes, she seems pretty
Love
cool.
to see it.
But I have also attempted to play this game multiple times, but this time I even put this on Twitter or whatever, and I was like, if I talk about any other game before I finish this, y'all yell at me. So I'm trying to stick to
All
it.
right.
Just trying to not play anything else besides Cyberpunk, except Destiny. Destiny doesn't count. I have to play Destiny once a week at least. But
Yeah.
anyways, I've been playing a lot of
Okay.
Cyberpunk.
Nice.
Do you want to talk about what you've played before we dive into Game Awards?
Yeah,
That makes
for
a
sure.
better flow for things.
Yeah, I don't have many updates since last time we all talked, but I did finish Spider-Man since our
Woohoo!
last episode. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
If you guys have been listening for a while, I am definitely slower when it comes to finishing games, but this is one I definitely knew I wanted to finish sooner rather than later because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Hunter, my husband's also a really big fan. I had a blast playing this. Me and Jericho have talked about doing a full spoiler cast in the future, just kind of dissecting a lot of the different elements because I don't want to spoil anything because it is really good and really keeps you on your toes. There's a lot of elements that they add that I wasn't expecting. And there's a lot of really cool, like, wow moments in it too, where I was like, whoa, oh my God. And it made me feel like kind of like a little kid. I don't know if you had that experience at all, but like sometimes, because I also loved the Spider-Man movies when I was a kid. And so some of the moments made me feel like, oh, wow, this is so fun. But also, there's some times where it's very difficult. I had to bump down the it to like easy mode because some of the fights, especially the boss fights, are really hard.
They are. I experienced the same thing.
Yeah, but it's not like the I want to rage quit this hard. It's like the let me see if I can figure out how to make this work kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very like tactical, like trying to figure out like what moves work on what kind of enemies, because there's a lot of different types of enemies that you face. In each different scenario, like everything's very unique. I really like the leveling system, and all of the flair is very cool. And I'm also not normally the kind of person that does side missions, but a lot of the side missions were very engaging. I didn't do all of them because I normally am just kind of like mainlining things, but they do make it, they give you incentive to do some of those things because you gain things like we talked about before, like fast travel. You get a lot of like points to level up your character. You have the different characters you can level up and lots of different things that you can do. So I found it very fun, and I think the replayability is really good. I definitely could pick it back up later. I think they did. I think they announced New Game Plus. Is that right? I think they did.
Yeah, I just don't know when it's coming.
Not 100% sure, but I could definitely see how me picking it back up again and seeing what they add, going back in, playing more of the side missions, and going back in with all of your abilities, and kind of like, I think that would be really fun. But yeah, I had a great time. I am also still playing Sea of Stars, and I'm so glad that it won an award at the Game Awards. It won, I looked it up in prep for this, Best Indie Game winner. And so there was like a Best Debut Indie Game, which Cocoon got, which by the way, I want to play that too. That looks very good. Have you played that one? Can't remember.
It's on my to play list.
It's on the list. Okay. And then it won best indie game. So I have a really good time, and this is definitely the most surprising game for me of the year because like we've talked about, like it's not something that I would normally go for because it is like a turn-based combat. It is like pixelated. And it is like top down kind of thing. So I am very surprised with how I've stuck with it this long. And I think I'm almost done. It's a lot longer than I was expecting in a good way. Like it has a lot to it, especially for being an indie game. It is on Game Pass, PC Game Pass, if you wanted to try it. And then also I am looking forward to reviewing that when I finish it. And I'll definitely update you guys, but not quite, which I'm not rushing. It's really enjoyable. The story is really good. The characters, it's really cozy in a way, even though it's like an RPG, there's combat, there's leveling up that you can do. There's different abilities that you can get. There's different combos you can do because you have multiple people in your party. But the story is also good too. So would recommend for sure. And then I bought Alan Wake. I haven't started it yet, but I bought it because it's a really good deal. I think it's still going on right now on the Epic Store.
Okay.
Epic Games launcher. It's like $25.
Whoa, that is a steal.
Yeah, there's like multiple coupons that are stacking right now. Like I think Epic has it on sale. And then Epic also has a coupon that I don't know if it's available to everyone, but there's like a 30% off thing that said that you could use. So I used that and I got the Alan Wake 2 and Alan Wake 1 remastered.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah.
Great deal.
I think I'm just going to play Alan Wake 2. I'm not going to worry about the first one because you said it wasn't really super necessary, right?
Yeah.
If I remember you said that. And so I want to get to that sooner rather than later. So I downloaded it. So we're in the progress of getting there. So that's all that I've been playing lately. December is a busy month for us all. So I haven't been able to play as much as I want. So hopefully January, maybe we could do an episode of like our top games we want to get to the year next year. So
I was looking
that's
up
all for me.
a little bit more about the developer behind Sea of Stars, and it's developed by Sabotage, which obviously they've done Messenger. Their focus is on like, you know, retro inspired like but updated games like that.
Yeah.
So I was going through meeting the team, and I'm gonna say this is I love the aesthetic of their website. And then if you like click like meet the team, they all look like nobody's smiling. It's all black and white, and everyone's wearing black. I would definitely could fit in with this group because I might smile a lot here, but I don't love smiling all the time. And they're all like,
that's funny.
They all just
That's awesome.
They all just look so cool. I'd be so intimidated to try to work with them.
Wow.
But no one's smiling, and I love it.
Some of them were at the Game Awards, I think, because they like went up and accepted I don't think they did I don't think they went up and I don't remember if the team was there or not, but yeah, they're really cool. I really love the art. There's also like intermittently throughout the game, there's like animated cutscenes that are really cool. So they just do a lot of cool stuff. I would definitely recommend you all play it. So,
and then
I know
also
Cognitive Clips CC really enjoys it too.
And also, now that you finished Spider-Man, we need to do a spoiler cast. I said that real country.
Yes.
Spoiler cast.
Spoiler cast.
All right.
I guess we could hit on our little bit of news we had, and then maybe before we talk about all of the announcements, you could give us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, we just keep telling people we're about to start I'm about to tell you about the Game Awards, but now, nope, not until after this bit.
Little tease. Ooh.
Yeah, we'll dive
This shouldn't be too long.
Yeah, we'll dive into the news real quick. The one bit of news we have this week, which, you know, I'm sure there's a few other things, but the biggest, I texted Kayla, I was like, of all the things, let's talk about the multiplayer game being canceled at Naughty Dog.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
I want to hear what you think. You did say that you have some hopeful thoughts when it comes to this. I'll be honest, I haven't read a ton about this. We have an article we're going to reference that is directly from Naughty Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I have it pulled up if you want me to read part of it, or if you want to read part of it.
I have it.
Okay.
So this is officially, like, this is what Naughty Dog said. December 14th was when this came out. This is on their blog. We realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. There's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game. We know this news might be tough for many, especially our dedicated Last of Us factions community who's been following our multiplayer ambitions since the beginning. We're equally crushed at the studio that we were looking forward to put in your hands. We wanted to share with you some of the background of how they came to this decision. The multiplayer team has been in pre-production with this game since we were working on The Last of Us Part 2. Crafting an experience we felt was unique and had tremendous potential. As the multiplayer team iterated on their concept for The Last of Us Online during this time, their vision crystallized, the gameplay got more refined and satisfying, and we were enthusiastic about the direction in which we were headed. In ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we would have to put all of our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting development on single-player games. So we had two paths in front of us. We could become a live service game studio or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. Goes to say, like, they're proud of what the team was able to accomplish with this project. You know, one thing I want to, before I wrap this up, they did say, we have more than one ambitious, brand new single player game that we're working on here at Naughty Dog, and they cannot wait to share more for when that time comes. So with that information, I'm excited because, I mean, just like what they said in the post, that it's something actually I didn't even consider, that, you know, Bungie with Destiny successful because there's teams that is all they do. Bungie right now, I know they announced Marathon this year, but really that team has been supporting Bungie for 10 years. And think about this, like every quarter there's a new season that they're constantly making content for this game. Every week there's a little bit of new stuff getting added. I mean, we could think of, for you, like playing Apex Legends and Fortnite and that stuff, you know, like there's a lot of research, like this game, I guess it's called a live service. Like it's alive, and you can never work on anything else because as soon as you quit making updates to this thing, it's going to cost you money. You won't be making money. You got to keep people engaged and wanting to come back. You got to give me a reason to log into Destiny next week. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like, what's your thoughts on it, Kayla? What do you think?
So as somebody who does enjoy like playing games with friends and like, for lack of a better word, like, I mean, I think that like I enjoy a lot of games that are online. So I was looking forward to this. I jokingly like talk about all the time, this is not what this was going to be, but I would die for a Last of Us farming sim online. Like, get me started.
Listen, that might be something they could do now. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort. I just need a one and done deal for that, you know?
But I would rather have what they are saying that they are focusing on than what this was going to be. Or what I imagine this was going to be. So I do agree. It is sad always when, especially because I know, you know, there are a lot of really dedicated Last of Us fans that were probably really excited for this. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot a little bit about this because there's a lot of other things, like, for example, the other thing, like they just recently announced the Last of Us Part 2 remaster that is coming out with all this extra content. Maybe that's kind of what they're doing instead, or not doing instead, but like giving us this instead of this, because I'm really excited for the Horde mode.
I know I could assume, like, one cool thing about this, I know it's disappointing in some areas, is that would, you know, if I could be playing something other than Destiny, that's cool, but that's another problem. We'll get to that in a second. I lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
Oh, it's okay. We can read some comments. Game Over Trillo said, feel like they started on Factions 2, ramp up to The Last of Us Online, and it was too much for Naughty Dog. Yes.
It's not on... I'm sure everything they've built... Sorry, it just came back to me, and I don't want to lose it again. That's why I interrupted. Everything they've built for the online game. Those things are going to be able to be reused, and the teams that spent hours on those assets are going to be reused, and I think that is something we saw with the remaster. I'm sure those are some things getting pulled from the multiplayer experience that are being implemented there, And I'm sure if one day, if there's a Last of Us Part 3, that there's a mode that they're going to incorporate to make this part right. Like, is it going to be a live service thing? No, but I think there is there's a huge community for factions in that multiplayer space where it doesn't need to be a live service game to bring people in to play. It's sort of like, I think about Mass Effect and the multiplayer mode on that. Like, was that something that everyone was playing? No, but it had such a it had enough dedicated fan base where it was, people went there for a reason to play. And then my second thing, with live service games, there's so many, you got to pick one. I have a hard time playing. I tweeted about this. Like, I have such a hard time just playing Destiny and everything else. Even with this would have been the only other live service game that I think I would be involved with week by week, besides Destiny, if it could really bring me into it. And I think they would have to just put everything all in to be that kind of game. It's so tough. And these live service games, I'm not an expert, but I know they're not as profitable as they used to be. And with all the layoffs that have been happening, even with like Epic Games, right? With Fortnite, they've had let go people. Bungie earlier this year, even Naughty Dog even let go of people earlier this year. So a lot of QA positions. So I'd rather them do this and work on something they're really good at. And, once you make a mistake, just like BioWare, it's hard to dig yourself out. Hello Games is an exception. I think of No Man's Sky. But think about, that's just always I would love a documentary on No Man's Sky and the development.
We have news about that later. They're coming out with a new game, allegedly.
What a success story that has been for that developer, and hopefully there's not another success story they have to work on. That game looks cool that they're working on next. But regardless, BioWare has such a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, whatever they put out next with Anthem. It was Anthem, like...
I actually liked Anthem too.
Anthem wasn't bad, but it wasn't something I quit playing Destiny for. And it also was not. It was a BioWare game, but it also was like BioWare made this. Like, it doesn't feel like it wasn't a part of their DNA. It just seems like something that EA was just like, we got to figure out a way to make a cool game, but we got to make it a games as a service, and it's got to be something that lives and breathes all year long. And that's just not every studio's thing, but I guess in the gaming business world, like still, I guess there's a big push for that. And we could go on. I know we got to keep going with the episode, but I'm glad that it's sort of stopping here. I want Sony to slow down with all these projects they're wanting to do. And I just, cool, there could be a multiplayer mode. It doesn't have to be in depth. But I want whatever Naughty Dog is working on next way more than I would want this online game.
I totally agree. I think that we are both fans of the franchise. Obviously, we're big fans. We have a whole dedicated other podcast to this, which we I've spent a lot of time talking about this, and I agree. I would rather have what they are known for instead of them going into this whole different venture. A couple other things in the chat before we move on. Jake Twitchin, hello, welcome. Glad to catch one of these live, he said. Glad to have you. Tegan Not Sarah said all but one of the crops is deceased or diseased.
Naughty Dog, hit us up when you're ready for the the farm simulator idea.
We got you.
We're ready to work with y'all on that.
Let us play test it, please. The Penguin said, I've always wanted a Last of Us game that played like Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. I don't know what that is, but that sounds fun. I know Red Dead Redemption is fun, so that would be fun to have a Last of Us game like that. Game Over Cholo, last thing, said, from your mouth to God, Jarek, I hope there's a Factions 2 on The Last of Us 3.
I could like Last of Us 3. I think there is I think to make good on what they've worked on, they definitely got some practice doing some cool stuff with multiplayer things. Like, surely they're gonna stretch that at some point and use those muscles. But I'm glad they're not putting more resources into something that we just rather just put it. I just don't want them to have a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, it's hard to dig yourself out of that hole. I don't want any more people laid off for unsuccessful business ventures that all these rich assholes at these companies want all these studios to make these games. And granted, I'm sure a lot of Naughty Dog employees wanted to make this. I'm sure. Like, it is a unique, fun, challenging project that was probably not horrible, but I'm just glad they're just like not making that the thing that they turn into. I can go on. I know I keep rambling. I'll stop. I'm done now. I'm done.
Let's move on to our expert mode, everybody. What you've all been waiting for, the Game Awards. We talked about what our predictions were. We talked about the nominees on our last episode. Before we dive in, just a couple quick things from you guys that we got. So we asked on our socials, what was your favorite Game Awards announcement? And don't worry, we'll dive into a couple of these later. But Juan Lobo 6034 said Blade, which I was very surprised to see. We had a couple people say that. Dave O'Mac said Jurassic Park Survival, another very interesting game that I can't wait to see more about. Tales from the Backlog also said Blade. CC Cognitive Clips said Tales of Kinzira. That I don't remember what that is, but
cool story. I let the creator of that game onto the elevator because he looked really important. I loved his outfit, and I was like, "After you, good sir."
Oh, was that the gentleman with the like the sash?
Yes,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Literally, him and his wife got on the elevator with us, and I was like, "After you, sir."
Wow.
That was cool.
CC also said No Rest for the Wicked and Light No Fire, which very excited for that. Play Along Pod said seeing Hellblade 2 again really got them excited. And
it's
then
coming
Thomas
out next
Egan,
year.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
I can't believe
finally.
it.
Oh my gosh. Thomas Egan said Pony Island 2. So
which I need to play the first one because Inscription was my first game from what was his name? Mullins dude. So that's I get to that. I got to get to that because I love Inscription so much. It was weird. I love weird games.
I don't remember if that one got a date, but we will dive into that later.
I think it glitched at the end. It was like 25 or 24, 25. Like it glitched on purpose.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
They don't know what year it's coming out yet.
I love people to be honest, that's great.
Yeah. That's
totally fine. But again, Jerica, I would love to hear more about your experience. Give us some of your highlights of your trip.
Yeah, because I spent so much time talking about Naughty Dog. I won't be able to highlight all the things. Just know it was a fever dream and I made a mistake and we didn't stay long enough. We really needed another day there. Actually, maybe 2, because there was a lot of events going on after the Game Awards that we just sort of had to rush out of there, which made me sad. But the day of the show, just, leading up to the event, we stayed in the hotel directly across from where the awards was going on at the Peacock Theater. So we stayed right across the street. So we just had to walk over. But, I didn't really consider that everyone would do that, that's attending the awards ceremony. And even very important people that are making the games we know and love could also be staying at this hotel. So anytime we went downstairs, into the lobby, into the bar area, it was jam-packed full of just games people.
That's so cool.
And it was sort of cool just to walk around and identify people and be well, I don't know you. I don't know you in real life, but I've definitely have seen you on Twitter. Or I've seen you at the Game Awards before, and that person works on this, I think. Or that person definitely works on that. Oh my God, is that how do you just go up and start talking to some of these people?
Yeah.
So
that's really exciting.
Baby's first Game Awards, it was super intimidating, but honestly, everyone was just going up to everybody, and I didn't talk to anyone that was a butthole. Everyone was so nice, even the people that were in a hurry and probably I know they had way better things to do than talk to me. Sam Lake was one of those people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have anybody you want to shout out specifically?
Not yet. Not that I can think of. Only reason I just sorry, I lost my train of thought. Hold on to that question, Kayla. Because let me be a good storyteller. Because now I'm rambling again. We're getting off tangent. All right, go down to the lobby. There's a lot of people in the games world just mingling, hanging out. We make a mistake and just have a Starbucks breakfast sandwich before the awards. So after the end, we were so hungry and made a mistake.
I bet,
the awards show was long, and
yes,
you're going into the theater And obviously you can buy drinks, and I was really excited to buy drinks, and it makes sense. You can't take drinks into the auditorium, but you could drink them outside. So I had to like chug
Yeah.
an alcoholic beverage and a water.
Oh no.
And I was like, great, now I'm gonna have to pee at some point. Of course I didn't get
Yeah.
up to pee at any point. I held it the whole time, so that was a struggle.
That's impressive.
But I did it. So we sat down, got really good seats in a good area. We were on the left side, so I could have, there's like a little small, like, side, what's the word?
Stage?
Platform stage on the left side where Sidney Goodman was kicking it off with like the pre-show. And then later on you would see Jeff go up there with Gonzo. So it was cool to like see that little, like how everything goes back and forth. But the showcase, how everything's done is so pretty. Like the stage is beautiful. I mean, you saw it on TV, but to see it in real life, the speaker system was great. The whole show sounded awesome. It was just like this huge, like just watching the Game Awards in a theater. But the Fallout trailer blew my eardrums away.
Oh, I bet.
I don't have
I can't. But it was loud.
Something was on. No. Everything was normal volume except the Fallout trailer was messed up. It was so loud. The whole row in front of me went like this. Like it probably sounded fine for people streaming, but in this, like inside the space, there was something off with the audio, and it was like way too loud.
That's crazy.
Besides that, I didn't see any technical issues. But watching everything from my seat was great. And one time I tried to record a video. It was when they were doing the Hellblade performance. And I started recording a video. My flash just turned on. And I got so embarrassed. And I know no one noticed.
No.
But I went like this. The video is like me doing this, hitting record, and then going,
I've done that at concerts before. Or not concerts, but yeah.
I was so embarrassed. And I don't think anyone noticed. So
I'm sure it's
if you didn't see the
fine.
flash from home, then it didn't matter.
We tried to look for you. We had like a little viewing party, us and some of our gaming friends. And I was like, where is Jerica? I'm trying to find her. Jerica and Audrey. I didn't see you at all, but it's okay.
Yeah, I saw the cameras and where they were going. I was like, we aren't going to get on camera at all. Cool story. The whole row in front of us, I didn't really know who they were with, but they all looked cool. And they're like, oh, they make games. I wonder who they're with. And it was really neat to figure that out. And I told Audrey as soon as I noticed something, there was a game I'm scrolling through because I forget the name of it, but it's LA. I forget the name of the studio. Hold on. I'm scrolling through this list.
There's a lot. There's a lot of things. We had like a bingo card at our watch party of like various different things. It was really fun.
I should have wrote down things. I'm about to find it, I think. No. I just literally looked up their studio before the show, or before we did this. Oh.
It's all right. We're leaving everyone.
This sucks. Okay, so one of the new, like, it was their first game they announced. It's LA Lightspeed LA is the name of the studio. Hold on, let me just Google. Yeah, Lightspeed.
Ooh, that new keyboard sound.
What is their game? Of course, they don't have their game on their website, just easily to see. Sentinel. The last unveils the last Sentinel. Oh.
Okay.
All right, so the last Sentinel. This was imagine this is this developer's first game. They are showing it off for the first time, and you just can see that whole row, like when their trailer pops and the Lightspeed studio shows up, like everyone pulls out their phones and they're recording their own announcement.
That's so fun.
And they're like looking at each other and like poking and like got so excited. And
that's really cool.
I was like, I told Audrey, like, oh, that's their game. The whole row in front of us, that's their game. So it was really cool to sort of watch them get all excited. That was a cool moment. And then of course the Herald of Darkness performance by, the Ellen Wake folks. Even Sam Lake got up there and did his little dance. What an amazing dude.
So cool.
Yeah, met him outside of the show. We and Audrey were just outside of our hotel, and Sam Lake just walks by, and Audrey, like, would not stop talking to him.
Aww.
He was trying to get on with his business. And she just, like,
fangirl.
It was really cool. Yeah, she beat Alan Wake before I did and became a mega fan in, like, a week's time. and he was just so nice. And I knew he just literally performed and accepted awards that night and still stopped by to say hello. And
That is
listen
so
to
cool
us
that y'all
talk-
got to see him and spend
Yeah.
time with
And
him.
my mom saw that photo like on Instagram and texted me and was like, "Oh, did you meet Ryan Seacrest?" I was like, "No, Mom, that's Sam Lake."
She's like, who?
Who?
Who is
And
that?
she's like, "Oh, they look similar. Have fun."
That's so precious. Wow. What a mom thing to say. I was going to ask some of your top moments. So you would say that that's two of probably of your top moments.
This is not going to go like we planned, Kayla. This episode, we might not even get to the announcements.
We can just talk about our favorite ones, honestly.
Oh,
Like, I just have a couple.
because then I saw Kojima Con on stage, and that was really cool. There were so many cool moments. Like, I would need a whole. I've already ruined this by talking about other things. Like, it was just so freaking dope. I'm so glad I got to go. I want to go again. I met Todd Howard at the bar. That was neat.
Wow. That is awesome.
Apparently, Neil Druckmann was walking around too, and I was looking for him. I didn't get to say hello. I met some Bungie developers that I'd been following for a long time, and just sort of, said I got to show them my ghost tattoo.
Yeah.
So that
That's
was great,
awesome.
and we just
Well, I'm glad you
we
had
just
fun.
chilled and talked to them for a little bit, and trying to think. I'm sure there's so many other things. I should have once again I should have wrote down things, but I didn't. Our flight out the next morning was where we made our mistake, because it was 2:00 our time, like 2 a.m. our time. Where we were still downstairs, so we finally go up, and we had to be at the airport at 5:00. So yeah, I only had like 3 hours of sleep on the way home. And that's a
Yikes.
long flight. That was not fun.
Well,
But
I'm glad that you had a good time.
next time I'll
Jerica.
definitely stay a little bit longer. Definitely gonna do it
Yeah.
again. Definitely gonna do it again. And of
Well,
course, I got to see
know-
Greg and a lot of Kind of Funny best friends. So if you're a Kind of Funny best friend stopping by and saying hello, thank you for all that you do. And then, yeah, the Kind of Funny best friends are the best group of folks I know.
Aw.
Olive Party actually brought pins. So I got a little KFBF pin. So they brought some swag. Didn't even have to do that, but they did. So
Swag.
that was
That's
cool.
awesome.
Met Madeline
Well-
Stanley. Her name's famous in
Who's
the.
that?
Sorry, I can just keep going. A Kind of Funny best friend. She pops up in chat all the time. I don't watch her. I wish I could
Yeah.
watch more Kind of Funny content live, but I just hear her name all the time, like when I'm listening to the show on my way to work.
That's awesome.
So I got to actually put a face to hearing Greg say her name all the time. So that was cool.
Yeah. I would love to meet some of them someday too. That would be great.
It was neat. Yep. It was
that.
fun. 10 out of 10. It was great. I had a good time. That was a 10 out of 10. And just
Yeah.
being at the Game Awards is a good time.
As far as the actual content, I also feel like there was a lot of really cool stuff that was announced. Obviously, I really wanted Jerica to have time to talk about her experience, but also
I've got
I
a
would love
piece
to just
so bad.
Go,
This is the
go.
worst episode, but I cannot hold it anymore. I'm so sorry. I'm unprofessional and I know it. I'll just wear a diaper next time and just pee right here.
Ew, no. I know that you guys probably saw the go live notification, and I'm not even gonna have her explain it. She did not, unfortunately, get to sniff Kojima, but she did get to see him, which we will talk about what he did reveal, because what an interesting trailer. I know that there's a lot to cover. So guys, sound off in the chat if you guys have a specific trailer that you saw, or an announcement, or a continuation of anything that y'all thought was very interesting. A lot to cover, but when Jerica gets back, we'll kind of go into a couple of things. The article that we have pulled is from Logan Plant. It's IGN's article. Game Awards 2023, everything announced. Just going to go through a couple things. I know Jerica has some trailers lined up, but we did get a trailer for the new Monster Hunter game, which I'm not a huge Monster Hunter person. I haven't really played any of them, but I know that this one has been very long awaited. Monster Hunter Wilds looks very much desert. 2025 allegedly. We'll see. Oh my gosh, that scared me. That really freaked me out. Jerica's just, if y'all are watching live, her chair just turned around because she came back. Welcome back, Jerica. that freaked me out just seeing your chair turn around before I saw you. I was like, whoa.
It's a ghost.
But what we just started talking about is some of the announcements we're just going through really quick. The Monster Hunter game actually got shown off, which was crazy. 2025, allegedly.
That's so far off. That's so far off. I feel like that would have been. I was really surprised at that being like the last big thing and it being 2025.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I was also like, what the heck? Because I know a couple of the people we were with were Monster Hunter friends. And they were just like, wait, this looks really cool, but it's so far away.
So far away. Doesn't beat them showing off Mass Effect like 3 years ago, and that's like at least another 5 years away. So
yeah, we said we'll be like,
it could be worse.
We'll be in nursing homes by the time that comes out. Jerica, how was it getting to see Hideo Kojima in the flesh announce his new project?
I tried really hard to smell him from where I was at, but he was probably a good like 500 feet away. Probably more. I can't really figure out how what the distance actually was, but I got some good photos of him. And I would think I was just so excited that I was looking at him that I had to watch the trailer again when I got home because I'm like, what the hell was that? But also I watched the trailer again and I was like, what the hell was that? So it was Kojima nailed being Kojima. I think it's really cool that it is a dream come true because Jordan Peele is one of my favorite movie producer, writers, directors, all of that now because of his movies. And I literally have a Get Out poster like downstairs. Like I love Jordan Peele. He's awesome. And just to know that him and Kojima are working on a scary game is like, and he literally came out of the PT door. Like if you're a big Kojima fan, some lore, the best horror game, even though it was just a demo thing that I've ever played, was PT, the playable teaser for the upcoming Silent Hill game that was canceled. He came out of that door. So a lot of influence, like a lot of calls to PT in that announcement. He came out of the door. And then in the trailer for Overdose, apparently there's some letters in the mouth of the guy.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of an article to pull up.
Please do.
Oh, yeah. And Greg, like, definitely predicted that days before the event, by the way. He predicted that Kojima is going to announce something big and that it's going to be associated with Jordan Peele.
That's crazy that he predicted that.
And then the camera zoomed to him. If you notice, if you watch the show back, they put the camera on Greg.
I did remember that.
So someone knew that was it a coincidence? I don't think so. But how did he know? How did he predict it so well? I know
That's crazy.
I know a lot. He was, saying, he just predicted well, but that just it's too on the nose.
Is he in the game?
Probably so. I'd be jealous. I want to be scanned and put in that game.
That's what Jerica said. Put me in an extra.
But the go ahead.
I was gonna say Hunter Schafer. I'm a big fan of her. I think that they all looked so cool in the trailer. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, it's Kojima. Nobody knows what's going on, but it looks dope. I'm very excited for it.
They did.
Player 23 in the chat. Yes, we did. We did comment on Greg predicting that. That's wild.
They did. It left me again. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long week. I'm struggling a little bit. My brain's just like, I'm just overwhelmed by all the announcements and news still. Okay, so I pulled up this article, okay? Hideo Kojima and Jordan, this is from, or actually not Kotaku, this is from Polygon. Michael McWhorter wrote on these letters I'm talking about inside the mouth. Hideo Kojima, Jordan Peele teased their new collaboration OD last week. OD is an original project from Kojima Productions. It's going to be like a cloud-based game that's on Microsoft. Something wild's happening. I don't know with that. They did patent it. They had a patent for, or trademark for social Scream system, Scream game. So we don't have not just a Strand game anymore, Kayla. Kojima has Scream games, Scream systems. And it's going to be, a multiplayer thing, I believe, where we're all screaming and trying to. Sorry, there's a Pizza Hut ad now on top of this article, and I can't close it.
In collaboration with Hideo Kojima.
Gosh dang it.
Pizza Hut.
Okay. So that's information, but the letters, okay. An eagle-eyed member of the Silent Hill subreddit. You don't want to go there. You don't.
I'm scared.
It's a rabbit hole, and it just makes you, if you believe anything you read, you're like, yeah, I'm crazy. I need to stop. Anyways, because I've been there before. Anyways, this person noticed hidden text in the OD teaser, spotting letters A-T-A-M-I, each letter for just a single frame in the mouth of the actor of Udo Kier as he speaks, though the phonetic pentagram repeated throughout the video. As Redditor Glaze Blur noted in the post about their discovery, Atami, I'm probably butchering it, is a city in the Shizuoka prefecture of Japan. The kanji, if I'm butchering this, I apologize, that made up this name, taken separately, translates to Silent Hill.
Ooh,
now, they will never be able to make Kojima will never make a Silent Hill game. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I do think he is just referencing it a lot to know if you love PT, you're going to love this. This is going to be my
I think that's
so
safe to say. Wow.
Could it be
I'm
more?
excited.
I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know how long or how far away this is at this point. Like, I still think I was really surprised we didn't get another Death Stranding 2 trailer.
Yeah.
But with this, maybe it's more of a smaller project. I don't know the extent, but the fact that it's hinted to be like a social experiments movie game, it's a movie and a game, who knows? Maybe it won't take as long to develop.
Because he's doing a lot, because they also just announced the A24 Death Stranding movie
on top of that, there's a movie being made. So, and if they recast the actors, I'm going to be really mad, because I think you can only go with the original cast. Like,
yeah, how could you not? I've seen a lot of memes. Like, oh, this is my casting choice for Sam Porter Bridges, and it's Norman Reedus.
Yeah, like, who else was, and I think it was it Josh I was talking to, like, just who would you cast? Hopefully you would get Norman Reedus to play Norman Reedus instead of someone else playing Norman Reedus, because Norman Reedus basically plays himself in this game. Like,
isn't Jeff Keighley's in it too, right? Isn't he in it?
Yep. Like,
he's in it. Yeah.
Kojima, like, told Norman Reedus to be himself in this game. So, anyways, Scream type game, confirmed. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but I found it in subreddit, and it seems like it was an official, like, trademark. Like, I don't know the submission process for that. Similar to, like, when they did the Strand game, social strand system.
Ooh. Another thing really quick, not a lot of info on this, but I'm very interested, and a lot of our listeners put it in the Blade game. Do you know anything about Blade, Jerica?
I know nothing about Blade, except he's a kick-ass vampire dude.
Yeah.
And the whole room erupted when that got announced, so.
See, I think that not a lot, I don't know that this was on a lot of people's radar, honestly. So this is from Arcane Studios, who did Deathloop and Redfall. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat there. But a lot of people, I think this game looks really interesting. Obviously, it was just like a little cinematic, like not a lot was like really shown. But I'm interested. I don't know a lot about the lore of this character, except like you said, he's a badass, like cool vampire dude. It's the only little blurb is a mature single player third person game set in the heart of Paris following Blade. Development just started, so it could be a while to see it, but I'm interested. Looks interesting. The next kind of thing that we could spend just a little bit of time talking about is Hello Games shows off their new game, Light No Fire. Did you know anything about this? Was this like rumored at all that they were coming out with a new game? I don't think I saw anything.
If I would have never guessed that at all. Like, I would never have made that prediction.
Oh, sorry. CC in the chat corrected me. Arcane Lion did Deathloop, but we're not involved in Redfall. Thank God. That's funny. But yeah, so the Hello Games, developer of No Man's Sky and The Last Campfire, has revealed its next game. It's called Light No Fire, and it looks to be a very ambitious open world online multiplayer game. The gameplay showed building, dragon riding, and co-op elements. All looks really good.
I love that they did like they did like the opposite. I love how they went from the opposite of what they did. Like they were like, let's do the opposite of what we just did, but make that expand too. And it's like making the first ever like open world planet. And I think that is so like the concept is great. If anyone can do it, it's gonna be them. And I think they've learned a lot from No Man's Sky. I don't think this will be a flop. Like I think it'll be a really cool experience. I think they've learned their lesson. So. Like they've the whole story with No Man's Sky is so interesting, and just an incredible redemption they've had with that. What they've added to that game is it's really cool. So I have faith that the next thing from them will be good.
I hope so for them, because like we talked about, as far as their like redemption story is really cool. Hopefully it doesn't take forever to come out. It probably will be a while if I had to guess. They didn't give any type of date from what I remember. I don't see anything. But I'm really excited. It really intrigued me. Like the environments look really cool and fleshed out. They showed gameplay, I think. Did they not? Or was it just cinematics?
No, it was in game, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, definitely have that on my radar for something. CC said Last Campfire is lovely, by the way. Highly recommend. I have not played that or seen anything about it.
I started it on my phone because it's on iOS. So you can download it. Yeah, I started it. I need to keep I just got distracted by something else.
I just don't love mobile gaming either. I'm just not like a huge.
It's on other things too.
Fan.
You don't have to play. I only started playing there. I'm like, maybe I'll play this if it's on my phone.
Okay, cool. Convenient. It's on other things. Yeah. Next kind of thing that I know me and you are both excited for is the Lost Records from Don't Nod.
Out of all the
Lost
games,
Records,
I'm most
Bloom and
excited
Rage.
for this.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't know, like obviously, you know, we're both big fans of Don't Nod and what they've done with Life is Strange 2. And then they did like, because it's not the like it's left me. My brain doesn't work tonight. They've done the remaster and they did Life is Strange 2, but they are not the Life is Strange like OG team, but they can make a Life is Strange game. Obviously they did too. But just knowing that it's still not a Life is Strange game. They also did Tell Me Why, which is also not a Life is Strange. I downloaded that, still haven't played it. Which is definitely not like any other games I just mentioned, by the way. Like not like a Life is Strange game. Just saw it. That's a rock climbing game, which looks really cool. So they could do other things, which is cool. But the story with this is basically like it reminded me of Yellow Jackets mixed with like Stranger Things, mixed with something else that always leaves me. Paper Girls, the graphic novel. I don't know, like all those things combined, like got me really excited for the story. It's right up my alley and things.
Also beautiful.
Yeah, it looked really good.
It looks really cool.
And that comes out next year.
Yeah. PC, Xbox, PS5 with a story that focuses on friends who reunite after 2 decades. I like that you said Yellow Jackets. Yeah. That's also, me and Jericho have talked about that before. I am very interested in maybe one day doing more TV stuff because we could do a whole deep dive into that. That show is so good, y'all. Like,
I haven't finished season 2 yet.
You got to.
I know.
All right. What else do we got? So honestly, I think that No Rest for the Wicked looked interesting.
I love it's really cool that's We're in the Blind Forest folks. They're doing like a new top-down sort of medieval fantasy game, and it looked really, really pretty. I'm excited for them to do something other than Ori. Now, I don't know if they've done anything other than Ori in a while.
It says that it's coming to PC via early access in Q1 2024 with a full release coming on PC, Xbox, and PS5 later. It just says later.
Okay.
But cool. That's pretty cool. Early access. I would love to try to get in on that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. What did you think about Exodus? Did you see
Is
that?
that the one with Matthew McConaughey? I forget which one had him in it.
No, that one was
Is Exodus the one from the studio with all the Bioware?
yes, ex
Devs?
Bioware developers.
Yeah, okay. No,
Reveal
yeah,
a new sci-fi RPG.
Yeah, I immediately thought about like there's this. I know the trailer now. Now that I know the team, like it reminded me a lot of Mass Effect, Andromeda.
Yeah.
There was like a few scenes, so you can definitely tell like the influences there. And yeah, no, there's so many space games coming.
I was gonna say there was a lot. This one's it's Archetype Entertainment.
That's
the studio.
Yep.
Trailer revealed that players will take the role of the traveler, exploring the new universe while avoiding
Destiny.
enemies known as Celestials.
So I guess you're like time traveling somehow. Like there's some kind of that's the one. Yeah, they were leaving and like saying goodbye to a loved one. It was gonna be years. Basically, they were gonna die before they saw them again or something.
Yeah. Again, there was a lot of like
which I'm
spacey
confusing with Matthew McConaughey and Interstellar.
What was that one called?
Is that the same game? Or am I mixing them up?
Hold on. I need to know. Matthew McConaughey, which by the way, you were in the same room as Matthew McConaughey. That's cool.
Yeah, it was I could spit on him if I wanted to, but I didn't. I guess that's a lie because I can't spit that far.
All right. And I love that he did that. That was so fun. It is Exodus. That's it. Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, so Matthew McConaughey's
is
in that game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, yeah. He I don't know if he did full motion capture, but he at least is the voice of one of the characters. Yeah. So that's cool. It looked interesting. I thought it was going to be Interstellar game for a second, like the way that they were showing it. I was like, oh, is this Interstellar? Like, I don't know. Which I would be fine with because I love that movie.
It's one of my top movies. So good. I love it.
One of the last few things, Jurassic Park game, that looks dope. Jurassic Park Survival. I thought it was
I thought it was going to be like a cinematic and it's going to be like a cut to like this mobile game or something. But no, it's a whole first person, third person. What did I just say?
It's first person.
Single player, first person, open environment, at least like Jurassic Park game. And I feel like there's never been one of those before.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know a lot of people, it has a big following. Obviously, Jurassic Park's a huge franchise. Apparently, it's a revival of a canceled action game from the early 2000s.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says in the IGN article. We don't know yet if this is a proper revival of the plans for that canceled game or if it will take the Jurassic Park series in a new direction. Like, what is that, Jerk?
It reminded me of the raptor nail from the movie. It's a wrist supporter for when I'm mousing. When
you're mousing.
Yeah. But it's really squishy and I like to play with it, but it's my raptor claw.
I think that's everything. Besides they showed more of Hellblade. Did you have any thoughts on that?
I don't need to see any more of that game. Just come out already. I'm sold. First one was awesome. This one looks like there's even better. And then there's another person in the game. The performance was lovely. They had a fog machine and everything. I was a fan.
Nice.
I was like, this is very cool. Very cool.
The Banishers game, Banishers Ghost of New Eden is a game that I'm excited for. I think that's done by a studio that we're familiar with as well. Who is that? Does somebody in the chat know before I find it? Hold on. Pause. It is Don't Nod as well. That's right. So they had two things they showed off. That's what I thought. This one, it looks really interesting. It's like you're hunting ghosts. So the blurb is like hunt ghosts as two memorable characters in a story-driven action RPG where your decisions have dramatic consequences, similar to Life is Strange. Solve haunting cases and battle supernatural forces, combining Antia's spiritual powers and Red's arsenal. Looks so good. It was supposed to come out this year, I think in November, and it got delayed. It was one of my fantasy league picks. But it's coming out in February. The trailer, I think we just got another trailer. I don't remember if there was gameplay or not, but I'm really excited for that to come out. So that's really it. There was a ton of other things that I think we covered all the major things. Honestly, there was a lot. I thought it was a pretty good overall.
Well, in terms of like new game analysis, this has been the biggest Game Awards ever. And I think with that being
Yeah.
said, like, there was a little bit of drama. Well, I say a little bit. There was a lot of
Yeah.
drama around, like, shooing nominees and winners, like, off the stage, like, rushing people off, which I
Yeah.
didn't really notice that, like, at the time. But then I saw, like, all the screenshots of, like, the big screen saying, wrap it up.
I thought that was like just a meme. I didn't realize that was real until
Yeah.
somebody like until I saw more. I was like, oh, that's funny. And I was like, no, that's like real. That's crazy.
I hope, I'm sure Jeff would get the feedback and maybe make some adjustments there, but to have that many things in a show and then plus like advertising, I'm going to play devil's advocate and I don't know. I don't know. I have a lick of experience in this situation.
Yeah.
But I know there had to been like some things you just had to like shorten. And it sounds like most things in this show, well, there's a couple of moments where I'm like, that could have been shorter. That person didn't have to talk as much. Maybe that could have been shorter. But with the amount of games and advertisements that had to happen, like, I guess they had to be really strict with some of those things. But I don't know. I do hate like that, I wish they could have said a few more words about their wins.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, but at the same time, like, it's going to be really hard to get everything you want from this show because it's almost turned into E3 in itself, but it's also trying to still be an award show. And it's really, I don't think it's ever going to be, at least the E3 announcement portion, I don't think it's ever going to be able to make one or the other, like, be great. Like, there's always going to be give and take from both sides of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Luckily, I'm not the one to figure that out. Jeff is and his team. And hopefully he can, rebalance that for next year so don't feel as harsh for some of the people that, won game of the year maybe want to talk about it a little bit longer. I don't know.
Which Baldur's Gate, of course, won Game of the Year. I want to get to that eventually.
Alan Wake won a lot of awards, which is really exciting.
Spider-Man didn't win anything.
Nor I don't think really Tears of the Kingdom won like one thing. I forgot what. So Audrey was really bummed that Spider-Man 2 didn't win any awards. And I was like, well, what about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Also, didn't really win a lot either. So that goes to show like how much of like how many cool games came out this year. Like it was
100%.
There's so many great games that came out this year. It's a tough year to be if you weren't like reimagining or reinventing the wheel or doing something just like unheard of, you weren't gonna win a lot. Like a few games did that this year, and Alan Wake is one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait for you to play Alan Wake.
Said, I have it downloaded. It's next. I can't wait.
Oh.
CC in the chat said Tears of the Kingdom got Best Action Adventure. And yeah, Player 23 said, did you guys hear about James McCaffrey passing away today? Very sad. Voice actor of Max Payne and director of Trench in Control, and Alex Casey and Alan Wake.
Such a bummer.
So sad. It is very sad. I saw Sam Lake's posted a picture too, which is very unfortunate. So
I can listen to Max Payne all day long. Incredible voice. Yeah. You probably didn't play those because that was before your time, Kayla. It was.
I didn't.
It was way before your time, but there is, I think they are working on remakes of those games, or at least remasters. I can't remember, which is really exciting.
Yes, I can say hi, Porter.
Hi, Porter.
Port Doggy, first time chatter. Welcome. Love that. You're catching us at the very end, but definitely go back and listen. I did play Control though, which I don't know who he played in Control. Director Trench in Control. Yeah. But yeah, very sad. But can I also say hi, Piper, Riley, and Taylor? Yes, hello. I don't know who you guys are, but welcome.
Those are great names.
Love that. Any other final thoughts on the Game Awards, Jerica? Anything we want to close with?
The Game Awards was quite lovely. Greg Miller is awesome, but also maybe he shakes hands with some shady people at the Game Awards because there's no way he made that prediction without knowing anything. I don't trust
deals
him.
With the devil.
He's making deals with the devil. I don't trust that guy.
Sometimes. Psychic, predicting the future.
Most of the time, but when it comes to making predictions about Kojima, I don't trust him now. Or maybe I should. He's telling the truth. Kojima's cool. I didn't smell him, but I tried really hard. Probably because of the fog machine. I couldn't smell anything.
Lots of cool games next year too. Next year, is it going to be a
This-
packed year just like this year? Can't be as packed. There's
and
no
then
way.
Grand Theft Auto 6, and then
yeah!
Monster Hunter World Things, or whatever it's called, in the desert. That comes out the same year. What else
Yeah.
will come out in 2025? I guess we'll find out this year, because probably a lot of things will come out. Not
so,
this year,
yeah.
but next year.
I'm fine with next year being a little bit slower than this year. So
I
can
agree.
Catch up.
I'm still I wonder how long. Like, I will be playing catch up from this year at the end of next year. I know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Okie dokie.
Well, this is gonna be our last episode before the. I hope everyone has a happy holiday, or just a happy December if you aren't celebrating any holidays.
That's
and
my
a good
raptor
New Year.
sound.
Have a great New Year. Thank you guys for supporting us this year. We really appreciate it. We'll check back. Make sure you follow our socials to figure out next time we're gonna go live, and we'll see you next time.